Hello, everybody. My name is Michael Ian Cedar. I am from Engaged Leadership, and I am the leadership concierge, as they would say. So as individuals come in the room, let me just get the chats up as well so I can see everything that you guys are saying as you come into the rooms. Oops, that's not what we wanted to be able to do. And today's topic is going to be a good one. It's actually something that I was once taught early on in my career, as a matter of fact. So I'm really excited to be able to share that with you guys here. People are coming into the room right now as we talk. So we're also recording this, so you'll be able to watch and rewatch and share and give this as gifts to all kinds of people. So for those of you on the webinar, just so you know, we are also doing this on Facebook Live as well. So as people are starting to come in the room, hello everybody, join on in. You could even do, if you want, you could actually write some information in the chat box if you'd like. But just to give you a little pre-show, we do this every Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, and that makes it 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. So I think I said it right, 11:30 a.m. Pacific time on Wednesdays and 12:30 p.m. on Eastern time. So every Wednesday it's a different topic. There's going to be multiple speakers that do this. So again, if you're watching live, if you've seen me do this before, next week we've got Shannon doing one on conflict and dealing with people directly. So feel free to sign up for that. I'll send you the link by the end of this scope. And the way that these particular events are going to work, the webinars, is it's going to go 10 minutes on a specific topic, and then 10 minutes Q&A on any leadership topics. So I welcome you to bring your questions in. And if you have direct reports or anybody in your organization that you also want to get included in doing this kind of thing, just so that they know there's a free executive coaching, then this is a great place to be able to do it and send them. Maybe they'll get something in the 10-minute conversation that we have here. Maybe they just like having a really hard time dealing with conflict in the workplace, or emotions in the workplace, or productivity in the workplace. And that's what Engaged Leadership does. And so as one of the concierge services is we are going to do these webinars on a daily, I've got the Facebook as well here, on a daily basis, on a weekly basis on Wednesdays. So shall we begin? Today's particular topic, welcome everybody in the room right now, is 3 questions to determine if your direct reports are lazy. It's a neat question. 3 questions to determine if your direct reports are lazy. So number 1, let's dissect this question. Number 1, it shows that even if you do think your direct reports are lazy, saying this to my Facebook group as well, even if you do believe that your direct reports are lazy, that there might be an opportunity to analyze it. So that's the first thing. Number 2, it's saying if you do think your direct reports are lazy, they might not be, even though they appear. So let's talk about where this came from in the first place. Again, Facebook, this is more for the Zoom crowd, so you guys are getting the behind the scenes things here, but feel free to join in on the Zoom if you want to join in as well. All right, so I used to tour manage, or I guess the proper word is company manage, for Broadway tours. I was responsible for the lives of 50 grown adults. I told them where they'd be, when they'll get to eat, when they'll get off the bus to pee. I was responsible for so much of their lives, as well as doing the business portion of putting on these mega multi-million dollar shows. So being responsible for all of these individuals, there's a lot of information that had to get distributed at MindSnap. So one of the ways that we did it was we would hold meetings on a regular basis. The cast would get together, right? Or we would provide them with an outstanding amount of information. What time bus calls are, what time show calls are, where's the local grocery store, how many restaurants are in walking distance from the hotel, right? What is, the amenities of the hotel? How do you walk to the theater? Will you drive to the theater? And so when you go to 130 cities in a 10-month period of time, people are going to go, whoa there, doggies, you're controlling my life. And so you want to make sure, just like your people on your team, right? Got my team out there, that they're fully informed of what's expected of them, when it's expected of them. And so my mentor, George Anthony Agbuya, who came from the cruise ship world. He was responsible for thousands of team members, right? He said to me while he was training me in my early 20s, he said, you know, when a cast member, a company member, a crew member, a musician comes into the room and asks you a question, you've got to ask yourself one of three questions before you open your mouth to respond, because you're going to start getting really frustrated when you've got 50 different people joining in, and 50 different people asking questions, wanting to control their lives, wanting to know what's going on. If you've got that, then that's 50 people. And if 50 people ask you one question a day, that's 50 minutes. That's 50 questions, one question times 50. And that's assuming they're asking one question, which, as you know, with productivity, one question interrupting your day and ramping on up. Hey, Facebook Live, some more people have just joined. Welcome in. You can give comments there too if you'd like. That's a lot of time out of your day. So he said, you got to ask yourself one of the three following questions. And here's the first question he asked. If a team member asks you a question, before you go, yo, why are you asking me this question? You've got to look at yourself first. You got to be willing to take the accountability. And you've got to say, all right, what information did I, as the manager, not provide to my team, that's causing me to ask this question? Because sometimes questions just happen to come up and you, as the manager or lead or leader, never answered it in the first place. And there's really no way that they would have been able to read your mind and figure that out. So the first question is, okay, take the accountability right off the bat. Okay, I'm willing to take responsibility. Why am I being asked this question? And if you can't come up with a solution that they already knew the answer or whatever, then that's question number one. If you've provided that information, you can easily go, hey, dude, I've already provided that information for you. And in the future, please check the reference the emails that I send or whatever it is, whatever structure you decide you want to send out. So that's question number one. Before you go and you turn to your direct report and go, dude, you lazy SO, right? Two, all right, is this a particular situation that's so unique or outlandish, right, that it warrants the question? Because you know what? There are a lot of variables that maybe as leaders we never gave it to them in the first place, right? Which, by the way, I want to make sure for anyone that's in the room, not on Facebook, I just want to confirm you guys can see the screen, right? Are you guys, just put the number 1 inside the chat if you can actually see the screen. I actually never asked in the first place. One. Okay, great, cool. You guys can stop. Thank you. So just wanted to make sure. Because Shaq, who made this graphic, took a lot of time hand drawing that puppy there. It's not Franklin, but it's a puppy. All right. So question number 2, is it a particular situation? Sometimes things just come up and either you as a leader need to answer the question, or as a leader you need to go, hey, you know what? The best person to ask that is XYZ, so that they stop building the habit and patterns of relying on you again and again and again and again. Because sometimes there's someone who's actually more equipped to answer the question. I've got some, Phoebe in another room right over there, who knows most of the knowledge that is needed to know for probably 75% of the questions. And so I can't build a habit of them keep coming to me if it's a unique circumstance, right? So sometimes it's just, you got to go, is it a unique circumstance? All right. And then question 3, is this person being lazy? Dude, I provided the information. Man, I've answered this 3 times in our meetings. I appreciate you asking. Perhaps you need to ask a team member. But please, if you come to me with a question again, make sure that you check in and before you come to me. There's ways to present it. It depends on the circumstance, the scenario, the environment, the individuals, the kind of leadership, right? So let's review the 3 questions here. So soon as someone comes in, a lot of times as leaders or team leads or managers, we get so frustrated when people ask questions. The biggest thing is take that accountability. Ask yourself 1, okay, is this my fault? Why is this person asking this question? Did I not provide something for them? 2, okay, is this just a unique scenario? Or 3, okay, is this person being lazy? Ask them in that order. And man, George Anthony, my mentor, who taught me this when dealing with all those people touring, that was a pretty remarkable, simple thing for me to ask. So I want to tell a quick story over here. So something happened recently in one of my projects where someone's not a direct report to me, but they're a direct report to one of my direct reports, right? You know, so they actually report to somebody else. And they were having some major behavioral issues. And the manager got really upset when I said to them, okay, so what have you not addressed already that's creating this behavior? So my question one is, you know, have you addressed the behavior? Well, not for a while. Okay, so it's manifesting itself. And so I recommended that she goes in and seeks to understand, you know, why is this person asking all these questions? Why is this person being belligerent whenever you give them things? It's right. Uh-oh, Facebook went down, but we'll see what's going on there. Oh, we're back with Facebook. There we go. And when she sat down and had the meeting with her direct report, there was a lot of contention. There was a lot of conflict because things were going unaddressed for a long period of time. She stated the facts, but we had to ask the question, was it our responsibility or not? So if someone's misbehaving, or if there's behavioral issues, I don't want to say the word misbehaving, it's not like we're kindergarten class. If somebody is having behavioral issues, again, take the accountability. Look at yourself. Ask the question, what is causing this behavior? So it was just a unique interaction. So I'm going to do a quick poll here for the people that are in the room. Whether it's direct reports or it's people you work with, you can choose multiple answers. People in your work environment. Click here if any of your people fit any of these criteria here. Lazy, stupid, unmotivated, stubborn, immature. So click that mouse if any of those, if you have any direct reports or people you work with that fit in any of these criteria here. Okay? Oh, no, right now no one wants to admit to it. Or nobody's putting in because you work with great people, and that's awesome. So if you've ever worked with anyone who's lazy, stupid, unmotivated, stubborn, immature, put it in. There you go. You got a stubborn in there. You got a stupid in there. There you go. Now you guys are clicking. You got a lazy in there. All right. We're at a minute of the poll here, so we're going to end the poll. So we got a lazy, stupid, and stubborn. So my challenge to you is ask yourself, take the accountability first. What have I done to create an environment that's allowing this person to be lazy or stupid or stubborn? Is there something I'm doing that's forcing this person into being stubborn? Life changes greatly when you actually take the accountability yourself. So guys, those are the 3 questions my mentor taught me. Just so you know, again, we do this every Wednesday. Different topics every Wednesday, different Q&A every Wednesday. Next Wednesday is Shannon McGee on October 12th, 2016 at 7:30. I don't even know why I said 7:30. At 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. And the next one is getting comfortable with giving feedback. Getting comfortable with giving feedback. This right now is our 4th webinar. We're going to keep doing these. We're also going to post them eventually so that you can see them and watch them and eat them and enjoy them and put mustard and ketchup on them. Or relish if you like relish too. So now is the Q&A. And also, oh, by the way, so I'm going to put in the chat right now before I do anything else. Here is the link to the next webinar. If you'd like to register with Shannon, you'll get reminders and bings and dings and all kinds of things if you'd like to start doing these more often. So I welcome you. And now is the time for Q&A. So there's a whole Q&A section over here. And I want to make sure if you hit the Q&A button, you can ask some questions. So now's the time. I'm opening the floor for any topic, even if it's about lazy direct reports or are my direct reports lazy. Any questions about leadership, anything about engagement in the workplace, because that's what engaged leadership does. And so we're just scratching the surface here. This is not what we come in and do. We go in deep. We ask questions. We can do 360-degree evaluations, personality profiling, right? So once again, whether in the chat or on the Q&A, feel free to ask the questions. One just came in. All right, well, what do you do if you find, so thank you, Jill. What do you do if you find that your direct reports actually are lazy? Okay, so again, like most circumstances, unless you're in a position where you're, unlike most circumstances, unless it's just such a vague thing and an easy answer, every answer is going to be different, but I'm going to give you the vague answer. Number one, have you addressed the person? Number two, like, have you actually talked to the person and addressed the behavior that you're seeing and addressed, all right, is this the right behavior? Because how is someone going to fix the behavior if you haven't addressed it head on? And state the facts. Hey, I've witnessed X, Y, Z. Because you don't want to say, hey, here's a question for you. Is lazy a fact, or I should change it. Is lazy a fact or an evaluation? Put it in the text box right now. Is lazy a fact or an evaluation? That's what I meant to say. Is lazy a fact or an evaluation? Put your answer in the chat. Is lazy a fact or an evaluation? Which is it? Put that in the chat, whatever your answer is. One person wrote, I deem it fact, but then yes, you respond back with, it is an opinion, right? An evaluation, sorry. Is it an evaluation? Correct, it's an evaluation. So you can't go and go, you're lazy. You can say, look, I perceive you to be, I perceive that. I'm perceiving you don't want to be here, or you're being lazy, because here's some of the things that I'm witnessing from you, right? So the world and what I expect from you is to show these following behaviors. So you have to address that first. At a certain point, you're going to, an anonymous question just came in too, another one. We're going to, there's got to be that time where you go, this person is not a right fit for the culture. And you can give them their warnings or whatever it is that's necessary to be able to do, but you can't address it until you do that. And sometimes people just are not right for the culture. There's a great book, The Ideal Team Player. Are they hungry? Are they humble? Are they people smart? So I hope I answered your question. Another one, MIC, not related to the topic, great. But what are some tools I can use to deal with silent, but i.e. I will be discussing something and my coworker will say, I don't disagree, followed by a pause with no additional information. I'm gonna read it again, make sure I get this. MIC, that's Michael Ian Seaton. Not related to topic, but what are some tools I can use to deal with silent, buts, like I'm discussing something, my coworker says, I don't disagree, followed by a pause with no additional information. I want you to clear, I'm gonna start answering it, but either in the chat or the Q&A, I'd like you to make sure I'm in the right thing. Are you saying that if someone's like, hey, I'm not in disagreement with you, but they're not changing their behavior, and they're not saying they wanna change their behavior, is that what you're referring to? I don't disagree, followed by a pause with no additional information. Or yeah, I'm not doing those things. Look, if I'm getting this right, if I'm understanding your question, which I'm just not sure if I am, but if I am understanding it correct, you got to go to the individual and say, here's my expectations. And sometimes one of the hardest things to be able to do is just say, if you're not interested in providing this, then this might not be the right position, job, environment, world, company, for you. All right, I feel they have a larger opinion to add, but don't to avoid conflict. Oh, killer question, yes. Ooh, what just happened to my screen? Can you guys see me? Oops, someone just came into the room. Did someone come in the room here with us? Something just happened. You logged in from another device. Oh, I think something wonky just happened there. Curious to see what happened there. All right, so we're back. So great, I want to answer that question, it's great. Number one, you got to ask yourself, what am I doing? Am I doing it? Sort of like the three questions. It is on topic. Is there something that I am doing that is not creating an environment that allows for input or that allows for healthy conflict? And, I know a lot of times, hey there, Facebook Live, I haven't forgotten about you. Remember, this is the behind the scenes over there. To point blank go, I'd like to hear more feedback. And ask open-ended questions. What are your thoughts on this? You could say, do you agree? And they're gonna go, yes. Open-ended perspective questions. What are your thoughts on this? And this is something we go into big time with Engaged Leadership on how to both handle internal conflict, right? We actually have a whole module called Dealing with Conflict. Because conflict is healthy, and you've got to create that environment that breeds, well, conflict is healthy. Okay, I think I lost my screen there. But I think you guys can still hear me. It seems like we're rolling. Something technologically happened. So how are you going to create? This is a great thing, and I'd love to, if you want to talk about this, Royce, thanks for asking the question. I'd love to be able to answer this for you to make sure I understand the circumstance. But create that environment and make sure they know that, look, I want to make sure that you give more input here. And ask open-ended questions that are not yes or no, or would you rather tea or coffee? Go, what would you like to drink? Well, I don't know. I'm going to need an answer here because I can't have just, I want to have people who participate. And the way we're going to evolve as a group, as a culture, as an industry, is that we participate and share. And we may not always agree. And I might even yell. Hell, we might throw chairs against the wall. But I want to make sure that we're answering, that we're fully covering these topics here. So, guys, my name is Michael Ian Cedar. I'm, again, a legacy coach, a leadership coach, and a leadership concierge with Engaged Leadership. I put inside the text box the one that Shannon is going to do, the webinar Shannon's going to do next week. I'm trying to pull it back up for you here. Resume share. There we go. There's Shannon up on the screen. So I welcome you guys to sign up for that. Getting comfortable with giving feedback. So, Royce, there's part of the thing. You got to give that feedback. Interested in more, go to the EngagedLeadership.com. Interested in more, write us at info@EngagedLeadership.com. And if you have any other questions, that's what leadership concierges are for. Info@EngagedLeadership.com, and then you've got the phone number right there. And for those of you that are listening and just want to write down, 310-954-9749. Thanks for coming. This is a weekly endeavor. We're just getting started. This is number 4. Next week's number 5, and I'll see you guys